So I'm going to talk a little bit about my family and my kind of religious journey. So I thought some background information would be nice. My dad and his mom, they're Catholic. My dad's wife is Jewish. My mom is agnostic. Her mom is Muslim. And I am bisexual. I consider myself a little bit of a philosopher. So when I found out the theme was finding my religion, I was like, okay, well, what is religion, really? So I found 3 different definitions of religion. And the first one that I found was a particular system of faith and worship. And I really got a flashback to when my parents were going through divorce and my dad was making me go to catechism to spite my mom. And that was really fun. I'm not Catholic anymore, I don't consider myself Catholic, but the catechism classes were actually pretty fun. I wasn't lying when I said that was fun. It actually was fun. I met a lot of really nice people. I had some fun nights, Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. every Wednesday. But there was one time that I will never forget in my entire catechism experience. The teacher, and for anyone who doesn't know, catechism is kind of like Sunday school for when you're about to have your first communion, when you're a little bit older. And my catechism teacher was friends with my dad. He was about my dad's age. And for reference, I was probably about like 8 or 9 years old. I was the first one in class, and he called me up to the front of the classroom. He's like, I need you to do me a favor. Can you tie my shoe? And an 8 or 9-year-old Jessica was like, yeah, I can do that. I can tie shoes. So I went up and I tied his shoe. And then he sent me back to my chair and he's like, don't tell your dad about this. And that was probably the weirdest thing that's ever happened in my entire life. That was the only thing that ever happened with that, but that probably changed my whole perception of what catechism was about. I was like, oh, keeping secrets here or something? I'm not into that. So once I had my first communion, I never went back to church. I was like, that's really weird. I'm not going to be tying guys' shoes in secrets, okay? That's just really weird. So I kind of strayed away from that as I was growing up, and I turned a lot to music and film. And when I read the next definition that I found of religion, which was belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially a personal god or gods. And that really reminded me of Wonder Woman. I don't know if anyone here is a fan of superheroes, but Wonder Woman is probably my favorite. Saw a little clapping over there. And when I watched her movie, the one thing that stuck out to me the most was when people were questioning her, why are you doing this when people are terrible, basically. And I won't spoil the whole film, but people sometimes are very terrible, and that is a question, you know, like, why are you doing this? Why are you putting out all this effort to be good and to be kind when people don't necessarily deserve it? And in response to that, she says it's not about deserve, it's about love. It's about love. And that really stuck with me. That changed my perception of life, too. Because it's not always about what you deserve in life. It's about extending that love that you have for the people around you. Sometimes, whether or not they deserve it, sometimes you have to cut people off if they don't deserve it, but you always have to love, I think. And the last definition was a pursuit or interest to which someone ascribes supreme importance. And this reminded me of a video I saw on Facebook. If you can see where I'm going with this, don't spoil it for anyone else to play along. So I'll give you guys a few seconds. I want each of you to think of 5 people, place, things of the utmost importance to you. Something you would ascribe the most importance in your life. Like I said, it could be a person, it could be a place, it could be a thing. Whether or not they deserve it, who or what are those 5 things? Think about that for a second. And now, where were you on that list? Did you put yourself on that list? If you didn't, like I hadn't ever before, you should. You really should. We give so much grace to other people, and if I sound emotional, it's because I am. I'm an emotional person. I'm really sensitive.
Yes.
If you don't give yourself that same grace and that same love that you give other people, you'll never be happy.